You know, every single day, millions of us head off to work, and we all have one basic expectation, right? That we'll come home safe. But the scary thing is, for way too many people, that just doesn't happen. So today, we're going to dig into the true cost, the often hidden cost of workplace accidents. And we're going to see why health and safety isn't just a good idea, it's completely non-negotiable.
So, let's just start with that big question. What is the real cost when an accident happens on the job? I mean, it's easy to just picture that one single event, that one person getting hurt. But the truth is, it's more like a stone thrown into a pond. The ripples just spread out way, way further than you'd ever think.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about the cost that matters most, the human cost. According to the International Labor Organization, a staggering 2.75 million people die every single year from accidents and illnesses they got at work. Just let that number sink in for a second. That isn't just some statistic on a page. We're talking about millions of families completely torn apart year after year, all because of things that could have been prevented.
And believe it or not, the economic impact is just as jaw-dropping. A full 4% of the entire world's GDP is just gone, wiped out, every year because of these incidents. To put that another way, for every $100 of value that's created on this planet, 4 of those dollars are lost to preventable harm at work. It's an absolutely colossal waste.
So this begs a really important question, doesn't it? If the human toll is so tragic and the financial cost is so massive, why on earth isn't safety the #1 absolute top priority for every single company out there? Why does it get pushed to the side so often?
Well, the reasons are, unfortunately, pretty familiar. I mean, we've all seen it, right? There's always this huge pressure to hit deadlines, to keep costs down. And what happens? Safety gets treated like just another expense on a spreadsheet, something to cut back on, not something to invest in. And sometimes it's even simpler and way more dangerous. People just straight up ignore the risks they know are there.
So to cut through all of that noise, all those excuses and barriers, we need to get back to basics. And here's the thing, there are 3 really powerful fundamental reasons why every single organization has to get health and safety right. And these aren't just, nice to haves. They're the absolute foundation of any responsible and frankly any successful business.
And here they are. It's the 3 pillars: moral, legal, and financial. Think of it like this. The moral pillar is our basic human duty to look out for each other. The legal one, that's when society says, nope, this is so important, we're making it the law. And the financial pillar, well, that's the painful economic reality check that hits you when you ignore the first 2.
All right, let's start with the moral reason. Honestly, this is the one that really hits home. It's the most basic, fundamental human reason there is. It's just a simple, ethical promise that an employer makes to its people. No job, absolutely no job, should ever cost someone their health, their well-being, or their life. Period.
And this really gets to the core of it, right? As a society, we have this unspoken agreement. When people go to work, they get to come home to their families just as safe and healthy as when they left. And any company that keeps breaking that fundamental trust, well, eventually they're going to find they've lost the respect of their community and their customers. It's a deal breaker.
And when that moral contract gets broken, the damage isn't just in one place. To really get a grip on the consequences, let's stop talking in big, abstract terms and get specific. Let's trace what happens after just one serious accident. Because the effects, they're not contained. They ripple out and touch absolutely everyone. Okay, just look at this breakdown. This is that ripple effect in plain sight. For the injured employee, it's so much more than just the pain and suffering. It's lost income, it's stress on their entire family, maybe even a permanent disability. Then, for the company, you've got immediate hits like sick pay and covering shifts, but then there's finding a replacement, legal fees, maybe huge fines, and the manager? Suddenly, they're down a key person, they're spending all their time retraining someone new, and their own professional reputation is on the line. It's so clear. One incident creates a whole chain of victims.
And that chain of events leads us right into the other pillars, especially the financial one. Let's really dig into the money side of things, because the cost of an accident goes so far beyond what you might see at first glance. It's like that classic iceberg analogy, right? The little bit you see on top is nothing compared to the massive, dangerous part that's hidden under the water.
And a quick sidebar on insurance, because this is super important. The premium, that's just the regular payment you make to have coverage, but the excess is the key part. That's the amount the company has to pay out of its own pocket before the insurance company pays a dime. It's just like the deductible on your car insurance. And for smaller businesses, having to suddenly cough up a huge excess payment can be absolutely crippling.
But the financial pain doesn't even stop there. This is where that legal pillar really bears its teeth. We're talking about massive fines from regulators, plus all the legal costs to defend yourself. And get this, legal prosecution doesn't always stop with the company. Individual managers and directors can be held personally responsible. On top of all that, your insurance premiums are going to skyrocket. But the deepest cut of all might be the damage to your reputation. You lose the trust of your own staff, your customers, and that is incredibly hard to win back.
So when you put it all together, that moral duty to do the right thing, the legal hammer that can come down, and the brutal financial reality, it all points to one crystal clear conclusion. Proactive safety is not an expense. It's not a cost to be managed. It is, without a doubt, one of the single best investments a company can ever make. An investment in its people, its reputation, and its future.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. I want you to ask yourself about your own workplace. Is safety treated like a true, genuine investment in people? Or is it more of a checkbox exercise, something you do just to stay out of trouble and avoid fines? Because the answer to that question tells you everything you need to know about what that company really values.